Michael Garden, 20.
My name's Finlay Spence, I'm 21.
My name's Kevin Lane, I am 42.
Dustin MacDonald, 33.
My name's Paul, and I'm 24.
Hi, my name's Matthew. I'm 19 years old.
Not clinically diagnosed per se. Like, I do see a therapist. Like, I wouldn't say I haven't been an actual diagnosed thing, but I know I am depressed.
I don't have a diagnosed mental disorder, but I feel I have had times where my mental health has been less than up to par.
In the past, I've been diagnosed with OCD and depression. A lot of people would assume it's just arranging things neatly, or if there's like a spot of dirt somewhere, you go berserk. But with me, it was mostly obsessions, but it kind of I had obsessions about hand washing a lot, so I'd wash my hands constantly, and every time I think it's clean, it wouldn't be clean, and I just destroyed the skin on my hands because I would just wash my hands constantly for probably 10 years now. It took a while because there wasn't that much support available until after I turned 18. Then I got referred to the proper adult unit, and then I got put on proper medication, and a lot of other things in my life improved as well, but the main one was just finally getting some proper support.
I did go just recently, actually, went and spoke to somebody after I kind of, like I said, I'm not an angry person, and so I did go to speak to somebody about why I was getting angry, and just that one meeting, it was just like a preliminary meeting. It wasn't like a proper session, a psychologist session. And I went to speak to a person, and after that one session, just speaking about something and getting it out and speaking to somebody that wasn't part of my family made me think about something. They said a couple of things that nobody else had said to me, and it kind of made me realise that maybe the solution was a little easier than I thought it was going to be.
Difficult at first. I was on medication. I also was reluctant to try counselling. However, when I was persuaded to go, it did help. I was very surprised at how well it helped.
I would try and sign up with a therapist and do my best to talk with them.
Made it very difficult for a period of time.
With my college-wise, it can have quite a devastating effect because my confidence, my ability is linked to my confidence, and my ability gets worse if my confidence gets worse, i.e. because I get more depressed. So if I get more depressed, I just end up not doing so well professional-wise.
Changed it completely. Utterly changed it completely. I had to drop out of secondary school, so I didn't get any hires. So it completely changed my career. Like, I wasn't able to go to university. Because of my OCD and other things, I couldn't travel, so I had less life experience by the time I was in my 20s. It's insane. It's utterly changed my life completely.
Yes, there have been points where I've been severely stressed, paranoid, and just overthinking to too many things, and just personal strife, amongst other things.
Yeah, anxiety kind of keeps me from doing like a lot of things, especially like more artsy things and things that involve putting my work like out into the world.
Numb.
I would say it's kind of like, the best way I could put it, it's like a running tap. Most days it's just a little drip there, and so just little things just keep going every day, but sometimes the tap just goes straight on, full-blown gush.
I do think there's elements that are changing, but I don't think it's changing quick enough. When you consider that suicide in men kills more than cancer, it's quite a worrying epidemic.
I do think that men definitely they're expected to do stuff. They're expected to be tough, they're expected to not speak about things, and while a lot of men will be quite happy doing that, I don't think it's good to them.
Don't have to subscribe to kind of this idea of manliness, because I mean, what is it really? It's just kind of what media kind of pushes onto people.
I still think a lot of the time men's emotions are played for laughs instead of dealt with the same way that they are with other things.
So I believe masculinity in itself is a concept, same with femininity. It's all depending on the person itself. But the idea that men have to be tough and burly and just not talk about their feelings is quite toxic, because people need to talk about things, whether they're feminine, masculine or not. It's the same issue.
You often associate mental health with men to be more subdued, and meanwhile with women who would be more open and emotional.
I feel in everything, not just in mental health, but in every ways, when it comes to anything where a woman is like in a role of like maybe being a victim in some way, the media jumps on it and everyone's like, oh my god. But everyone thinks that like the majority of times everyone just focuses on the female aspect, but it happens on the male as well. Like statistically, I am in a dangerous statistic for people committing suicide. When is that often mentioned? How often is that mentioned? Not that often. So like when women are like, you know, this, or like we hear all the terrible stuff and happen to women, yes it happens, but this also happens to men too. Like when we never hear about like the whole Me Too movement about within the film industry and all that about like sexual assault and things, that was all happening with women. It happens to men too. Also with mental health that happens too, but you never hear about it just because males are meant to be tough and perceived to be tough.
Definitely talk to someone.
Talk about it with literally anyone. Like,
Just to talk about it.
Talk to someone, find that person you can talk to. You may not have that person, that's what the hotlines are for.
I think there's an awful lot more help for women than there is for men, and I don't mean that in a sexist way. I mean there literally is nowhere for men to go. There's nowhere. You've got shelter, you've got all these like rape counselling and everything else like that. There's nowhere really for blokes to go.